Tony Robbins has served as an advisor on the psychology of leadership and peak performance to leaders around the world. Worth magazine just named him one of the 100 most influential, powerful people in global finance. And he's the #1 New York Times bestselling author of Money, Master the Game. Don't mind if I do. It's life and business strategist Tony Robbins. He is here. So I think that you are probably one of a dozen of the last great superhumans on Earth. And I bask in the glory of your genetic superiority. Now, I have a simple request from you.
Yes.
How can you, with your expertise, knowledge, and mojo, help me become a billionaire?
Oh, it was a millionaire they asked on the way in. You're already to a billionaire.
I want to be a billionaire. Let's go big or go home, Tony.
Well, I'll tell you how you do it. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
You know Sarah Blakely?
Yes.
Okay.
She's the youngest person on the...
She's the youngest female billionaire, and how'd she do it?
Getting rad.
She took some control pantyhose, top pantyhose, and cut them off and created a thing called Spanx.
Yes.
And she struggled. Nobody wanted to help her. But she found, sincere answer to your question is, you've got to find a way to do more for others than anybody else is doing. You've got to find a niche. You've got to find some type of person that you fall in love with as a group and say, I'm going to do more for them than anybody else, and then find a way to do it. And she did it with Spanx. She got Oprah to try them on, and the rest is history. She's a billionaire.
Oprah immediately lost 20 pounds in TV weight, which was quite impressive. So you think it's more important, instead of having that inventor's aha moment, to service a demographic?
I really think if you're going to build a business, if you're going to become a billionaire, you're going to need to own a business. And if you're going to do that, you have to fall in love with your client, not with your product or service, because product or service has to change today. Everything's changing at a different tempo than ever before.
So you have to be adaptive.
And you have to know, what do they want, what do they need, what do they desire, and you got to spend your life trying to figure out how to blow them away. And that's how you build a brand. That's how you build something that's
you figured that out early. And a lot of people say that you use neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, to change people's minds, a form of hypnosis. And I'm wondering, how can I use that to get closer to my $1 billion? Is it possible?
Well, it is true that I started my career by taking people who had lifetime phobias, who'd been in therapy for 7, 10 years, and wiping out in an hour. And I learned techniques for changing our conditioning. But we all
Do you have a phobia?
No, I didn't have a phobia.
You never had a phobia?
No.
Okay. Never, no fear of flying, water?
No, I'm a skydiver.
Hot dogs, nothing?
You know, that hot dog question, that really got me going there.
Yeah.
My question is, when is a hot dog really a sandwich? That's a different one.
That sounds like a koan, like one of those things in Buddhism that we'll never be able to answer.
You have to meditate on it. Yeah. But no, my focus has been for 38 years, how do you give people the tools so they can have a better quality of life? Their body, their emotions, their relationships, their finances. And I'm an obsessive person, so I want to know the answers. And there are answers. There's somebody around you. I always tell people, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Most people are not passionate in their relationship.
Yeah.
Most people do not love their work. Most people are not fit and strong. Most people are not financially set. But a few people are, and the few that do is who I study, and then I show people how to make that happen in their own life.
That's great, but I love that. I love, like, taking systems, breaking them apart, reverse engineering, and figuring out how to apply it to make success in other areas.
Teach it in a way that's fun, because you know, most people have attention span today. You know what it's like in television or online.
Yeah.
So most people won't sit for a 3-hour movie, and I do a 4-day seminar with 50 hours. I was just in LA, 10,000 people from every walk of life, 65 countries. And nobody leaves, and we literally go 50 hours in those 4 days and nights.
And no one was hungry, and one of your other passions is feeding people. My mom always said, in a country as rich as this, no one should ever go hungry, and that's why she keeps food in her car to give to homeless people. I'm not even lying.
Really?
And little shampoo bottles, because
your mom is awesome.
Boom. That's for you, Maria.
There's 49 million people in the richest country in the world that we live in. 49 million people, and 17 million are children that don't know where the next meal's coming from. And I grew up that way. Yeah. So when I was 17, I vowed, when I was 11, somebody fed my family. So when I was 17, I said, I'm going to do this for others. So I fed 2 families, and then 4. And then in the last, I fed 42 million people across the course of my life. And this last 4 years, as I wrote this book, I'm interviewing these multi-billionaires, and I'm watching them cut food stamps by $8 billion. And that means every family that's being helped would have to go out to a meal 1 week out of the month for 12 months.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm writing this book. I said, what if I donate all the profits to Feeding America? How many people would feed? They said 10 million. And then I just got more inspired. So I wrote a check, and I fed 58 million people this year. But I've got matching funds. So if you're watching and you want at Thanksgiving to help somebody, go to Feeding America, and I will double whatever you do.
Feeding America, and that is a prime example of how private passion will do so much better than the government and these public programs, which ultimately fail people. Tony Robbins, thank you so much.
You've been so wonderful.
Amen.
Being with you.
I'm a billionaire emotionally, just sitting next to the guy. I love it. Now.